I play William, and the way I got involved in this was Kevin and we actually did 2 movies together a few years ago, but we kind of just developed a friendship that way. And a few years, I guess it was probably about 4 years ago, Kev gives me a call and he's like, look, I've got the script. I think you'd be great for William. Take a look at it and, let's see if we can work together on this, because we've been looking for an opportunity to do something together. And I loved it.
Played the role of Jesse in the movie Break, or Malicious, whatever you guys want to call it. I got involved with the project because Johnny and I wrote the script together about 4 years ago, and it was a challenge to find someone to play the role of William. We didn't know who to reach out to. I have to find the best looking guy I know, and I called up Nick fucking Baillie. And then Nick read the script and he jumped on board, and the rest is history.
Shut the fuck up!
I really, really enjoyed the script, and I hadn't met John yet. And interestingly, John grew up near Montreal, which is where I grew up, and I never knew John. So I ended up meeting John through Kevin, and again, just hit it off. And he's become a very, very close friend of mine. And, as far as the character, there were many challenging aspects to playing William. I think one big one was just really trying to not be judgmental of my character. Most actors have to, especially when you're playing a character that's, let's say, has a lot of duality and it isn't necessarily, a standard character. I really had to, work through that to ensure that I wasn't stepping outside that and not seeing him for who he was, and that he was someone that was, that felt he was doing things the way he saw them to be right.
Combine, what Nick brought to the table as an actor playing William, and John's freedom that he gave us on set to really explore every single take is really what let this story unfold. But for me, playing the role, I kind of saw Jesse as a victim. It comes out in the end that Lauren really masterminded this whole thing, and I always went at it like there's a lot of angst and animosity built up for obvious reasons that are revealed in the movie. But I did not want to do this. This was not what I do. Even that was the story, and that was the game plan. So yes, I saw him as a good guy. I did. And I hope that conveyed to an extent, and I hope that Jesse was relatable, given the circumstances, in any degree. That was pretty much the goal.
Although I had points of remorse, and I certainly had to face what I've done, I really came at it from a point of that I believed I was a good guy, and I was only reacting to him being, quote unquote, such a bad guy. It was a grueling shoot. And, as you'll see in the actual movie, William takes a pretty good beating, and Nick had to take that beating along the way, so that was a hell of a challenge. And, but I'm very proud of what we accomplished.
Let's go, boy. Come on, boy.
And as far as you're saying about most memorable moment, yeah, my most memorable moment is when I had to spit on Nick. Nick was trying to do 6 takes, I think. My God, and the poor guy was drenched with blood and the iced tea in my mouth. I mean, I just want to do 1 take, and I was like, guys, I can't keep doing this. And Nick's like, just do it. Not my favorite, but definitely my most memorable. And for me, an unfortunate thing that had to take place, but there was camera issues and things that we had to keep redoing the goddamn take. And I was like, this is just insane, man. So when I think back on things, about how many times I had to spit whiskey onto Nick, it's quite entertaining.
When the time comes, I'm ready to do it. I'll take a beating. I'll do whatever it takes. Again, it's about what's going to be authentic, what's going to be, we want to give John as much as he had as possible, given a short amount of time, to make the best possible movie. That's really what it comes down to, you know? And you never know, right? I mean, you're doing great work. It feels awesome. Sometimes the best stuff that feels the best doesn't come across the same way. There can be technical issues. There's a sound that, you know, there's lots of things to consider. So you just do as much, you know, that's why I don't mind doing extra takes. I learned a long time ago, when they say one more take, it's like, oh, great. It's an opportunity to do it again and maybe do it better. As opposed to, oh, fuck, I got to do it again. Don't get me wrong, you know, 6 takes of being spit in the face is more than enough. But, you know, at the end of the day, the whole thing felt right because I knew it served the story, and it just had, it had such a good impact. And I want to make sure we got it right, because if we did it 4 times and it didn't work, then we wasted 4 times. We got to cut that out anyway. So I'd rather do a 5th and a 6th and make sure we get it 100%. That's, you know, as far as what I'm proud of, I mean, I'm proud of the whole process, quite frankly. I'm proud of everyone. I'd say maybe the most rewarding thing was the experience that everyone had on the set at the time, you know, because again, once it's done, you know, it's out of my hands, you know. It's up to John and Mike and the 2 mics actually to do the sound and the edit and put it all together. You know, a lot of that process I'm not as involved in, and to see the crew and the cast be, you know, as happy as they were, they really did enjoy their time there. And I know that because I lived with them. And for me, that was important, to make sure that it was a good experience for everyone. You know, we want to make a great movie, but we got to live with each other. We got to work together day in, day out. We want to know that we all care about each other, that we are enjoying the process. And for me, that would probably be the thing I'm the most proud of. John's process is he shares with the team. You know, sometimes you feel like it's a bit of a mystery, and the director is this, you know, godly figure who has it all in his head, and you're just a pawn, and he just says, you know, move here and do that and pick that up and say that, you know, and I'll do the rest. And Johnny was always including us in his process. You know, I'm thinking, you know, this is the type of, you know, it's like an imagery thing, and this is how I'm setting it up. And, you know, so you got a sense of where he was going with it, which really helped us because we understand filmmaking as well. And that, you know, just understanding where this scene fits in the movie and how the imagery that he's using. I mean, sometimes, I mean, as an actor, you do your job regardless, but for me, I found it very helpful. I also felt that we were listened to.
That was a long time coming for me and John. We've known each other for several years at that point, you know, wanting to work together on something, wanting to work together on something, and then Break essentially was the vehicle to do that. So it was a hell of an experience. He has a tenacity about him that you don't see very often in a director. It's a fight mentality to achieve the best that could possibly be achieved at any given time, in any capacity, from, you know, sound, the shots, the lighting, the actors, anything and everything. He was so crisply dialed into everything, every nuance. It was really, really cool to see and sit back, especially when someone else was working on a scene and I was by the monitor, to see how dialed in he was, because I think Nick can vouch for this too. Sometimes you do films with directors, or maybe most of the time, and they're not gung-ho, you know, they're doing the job.
You know, many times when I've worked on sets, the directors are technicians. You know, they know the technical, they know lenses, they know lights, they know editing. They don't know much about acting or about story, quite frankly. And Johnny always worked at what served the story. He could talk to me as an actor and understood that side of it. And he listened, you know, he took input from all of the actors. Maybe sometimes we're giving input where we shouldn't have. But that's, again, a testament to John, where he never, you know, took it the wrong way. He'd always be, yeah, no problem. Doesn't mean he's going to use it. But, you know, he was always open. always ready to listen.
And when you got someone that tackles it like a dedicated actor would, which John also is, as you can see, he played one of the thugs. He really dove in head first, and he was just so dialed in 24/7, barely slept, and I admired that. It was cool. It was a great amount of dedication he put towards it, and I was glad that we had that reassurance, because we were given all we had. And if I turned around and saw a director laughing it up with people while we were going through what we were going through, that would have bent me the wrong way. But it was quite the opposite. He was the driving force behind the camera to push us to keep going forward and to really challenge ourselves and to, I guess, raise the stakes in whatever we were doing.
Let's get this party started.